Hi, it's Heidi Sawyer. I had an amazing opportunity to spend some evening sessions with a group of extremely motivated, intuitive, sensitive people. These are people who are driven to understand the deeper meaning and purpose of their life. During these sessions, I took them along a 7-step proven path that I have walked myself and helped many others do the same. That I've done with incredible results. I'm sorry you couldn't be there, but I hope this is the next best thing. These are excerpts from the live events. Here they are. Enjoy, and I hope more importantly that you do something with them for your life moving forward. Thank you for listening.
So, healing power struggles. How does this happen? Well, you can say, set your boundaries. Okay? We all know that. And for you, as a sensitive, it is as relevant or as easy to do as if someone said to you, catch the next bus to the moon. Yeah. Because you go, set your boundaries. Yeah. And I know that. But what does that mean? Okay. In fact, catching the next bus to the moon is easier. So how do we do it? We look at it as far as the Jeeva energy is concerned, okay? Because this is a way to look at it as far as how you operate, okay? What it is, it's a Sanskrit terminology, okay? And it's a terminology that describes the immortal energy of a living thing, okay? So this forever living vibration, okay, that carries on. So when, as an example, when people pass over, they've left our physical existence, what is left? Well, it is that there is an element of an immortal energy, okay, that remains. And whether that is an energetic imprint or whether it is a feeling that person is still there, it is tapping into that, okay? Does that make sense, yeah? So with Jeeva, what happens is the carrier body accelerates its lessons faster. Okay, so what happens is when you put the Jeeva into an egg, okay, so it's an energy that is a vibrancy comes in. What happens is you start chucking that lot off at an amazing pace. Okay, it all starts dispersing. And for some people, it feels like they've had, their insides ripped out and turned inside out, and that they've been through some horrendous experience.
Would you say that the more you begin to connect with a higher aspect of the self, the more trouble is going to start?
For a period of time. It feels like an implosion. To give you as an example, okay, of something really being speeded up. I was talking to someone the other day who, she's a lovely person, and I've known for quite a few years that she's been struggling with mental health issues. And part of that experience has been that she's been quite controlled with them. She's tried to control that process. Even though she had a lot of self-awareness, she's tried to control that process. And I spoke to her the other day, and I went, wow, what on earth happened to you? I said, because something has changed massively. And I wasn't seeing her. I was just talking to her. And this was I'd only said hello to her. I went, whoa, something really massive has changed in your field. What on earth happened? And she said, and I said, it's really clear. And she said, Heidi had a complete breakdown. And I said, really? She said, it was brilliant. Oh, really? She said, yeah. I said, where did you have it? She said, it was at work. I went, no. She said, yeah. She said, I can't really remember a whole chunk of it, but what I do remember is being taken into the psychiatric unit and my manager having to deal with the fact that I wanted to sit on his lap. And she said, I've never let anyone that close to me ever. She said, I'm not sure that he knew what had hit him. She said, what do you think he thinks? I said, well, actually, I think there's a huge compassion for you. That's what I can feel. She said, I thought that was the case. She said, oh, it was amazing. She said, I'm finally free. She said, I've been battling that for years. And it was as though something overtook me. She said, literally, something just, she said, I felt it as an energy thing, and something just went whoosh straight through me, and that was it. Accelerating her process, okay? So accelerate, and it was relevant to her. It's not always relevant to everybody, but it was relevant to her, which is, and I said, well, you must have made a decision before that happened. She said, I did. She said, either this had to stop. This pain in me had to stop, or I'm not sticking around here. And then it was within a short period of time, she had this breakdown. I'm not saying that works for everybody, but in her particular instance, she had been working for a lot of years on herself, a huge level of awareness, and we were laughing about this experience. She said, it's great that you will laugh with me with it, because that's how I feel. Whereas everybody else sees it, as some kind of tragedy. And she said, I don't feel that, and I don't see that. And it hadn't just happened. It had happened, a significant time previous. So it wasn't just she was on a high or something. It was something that had been there for a consistent period of time. Okay. So what she pretty much had was a kind of injection of a Jeeva energy. Okay.
Are those as we know them, saints or ascetics?
Well, sometimes what we do is, I think we give a physical body or a physical name to energy, because it makes it easier on ourselves as the personality to give it to see it as a physical person.
So it could just be a natural chi formation of the energy.
Yes, exactly. So with the Jeeva experience, what it is, it's a life force energy that feeds our vitality, pretty much. It's an immortal energy. If you bring more of that in to the carrier consciousness, it propels us forward faster. Okay? So what it is, it's your mojo, basically. It's that feeling of aliveness, it's that feeling of vitality. Now, definitely, we've all been through an experience where we have felt that our mojo, our vitality has plummeted. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. And it may have plummeted to the extent we feel that it's very difficult to get that back. So what happens is and definitely in early life experiences, the Jeeva energy has been suppressed, okay, through early life experiences, particularly if you've come from a difficult early life. Okay, so your Jeeva would be suppressed. What happens is that it becomes a stored experience, and it creates a psychic energy. So a psychic energy begins to build up. So you will find that your intuitive instincts, your intuitive energy started with a psychic build-up. Okay? Does that make sense? And that psychic build-up propelled you to change something.
In the world?
Within your own world. So the way I see it is often, and I've seen it so many times, and I've seen it through my own experience, is that your access to psychic energy is a preliminary kind of process of self-development, deep self-development. And it starts up as a survival mechanism. Okay? It stops you from losing your mind. I know that many people think, well, if people think that they are psychic, then they've lost their mind. But in actual fact, what it prevents you from losing your mind, because it's the beginnings of the development of faith, especially if you haven't had an early experience where there has been faith, or if the power struggle has been in your family dynamic.
What's the distinction between trust and a faith, trust in a life energy and faith?
Faith is no matter what is going on in the external world, you still feel okay. Anything else, I would put it down to is you're hoping it's going to be okay. Does that make sense?
I'm about the pure trust in life force. I mean, pure trust energy.
Trust
So
in
it's
life force. That you're looking at it from that you're hoping
hoping.
that it's going to see you through, whereas faith knows that you're okay.
Yes. No.
So it sounds very Darris, that non-interaction of, you see what's going on in the world, but you stay absolutely calm.
Yes, and that is what you're looking for. Okay, as an intuitive sensitive, what you're actually looking for is your ability to exist within your own consciousness, within your own egg, and see other eggs for what they are. That you don't have to judge them, you don't have to interact with them, you don't have to do anything. It just is, and you're quite okay with it. Okay? Whilst you have tension in your own egg, you'll need every other egg to be calm around you, because you'll think, I'm not sure I can cope with this, whilst you're working through your own tension in your own egg. What I'm saying to you is, or trying to say to you, is that as you have the power struggles, coming in your direction, or you're experiencing them even within yourself, is to try and take a moment to say, do you know what? It's temporary. However, temporary will be, if your personality is in a right old panic, it'll say, well, temporary means, now, get rid of it now. But the energy will go through. It's a temporary scenario for that breakthrough. Now, if you've had an early life experience that has been painful, that has been an experience of felt rejected or unloved or anything like that, it's not to say that your life will ever be perfect. What it is to say is that you will then develop something that feels enough. Does that make sense? Because, if something has been in that format, that of course there's going to be a scarring. Okay, it's going to leave its imprint. It's going to leave its mark. But quite honestly, if that wasn't there, you would have no reason to become conscious. You would have no motivation. Does that make sense? Without a scarring, you would have no motivation to become conscious. So what happens is, as that Jeeva energy is suppressed and it's trying to come out, so it's a vitality and it's not allowed to. So let's say you've come from an environment where you were not allowed to be yourself. This is just as an example, where it was really not okay to be yourself. The Jeeva energy will build inside of you as a psychic force until it has no choice but to activate the intuitive senses. Okay? In order then for you to allow the Jeeva to start to have its release into your external world. Now, if you've come from a highly critical background, you will find that you don't move your body much. Okay, you will have restricted movements. You will even have a stiffness in your physicality because it's suppressed and you are not allowed to have expressed it. So your defense mechanism is keep still, don't be seen. So how do you do that? You minimize the movement in your body. Then what happens over a long period of time? Your body overcools. So you'll find that you feel the cold. And then if it continues to overcool, you then start to have issues with thyroid. Who's got thyroid issues? Do you know how rare thyroid issues actually are? But they are prolific in sensitive individuals. Who feels the cold? Yeah. Who's always cold? Yeah. Your system will start. It's overcooling. Which, to me, and what I've seen over the years, is a strong. If a system is overcooling, the person has had a lot of criticism in their life as their foundational experience, and they're afraid to move because you can't. If you were seen to be enjoying yourself, somehow or another that wasn't allowed. Okay, who had that? Why, you think? But somehow it's not allowed. So the intuitive senses become activated to release your vibrancy, okay? Your Jeeva into action. So what's going on right now in your system, everybody in this room, your Jeeva energy is trying to propel your system forward, okay? Whether you realize it or not. Some of you, how that will be showing is that you've gone through an experience of tidying things up in your life. You're trying, or you are, as an example, trying to tidy up how you eat, how you look after yourself, how you care for yourself. Okay, that's an example of the Jeeva energy activating in everyday life. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, becoming more consciously aware of that. So when more Jeeva energy is produced than necessary, it creates a radiating vitality. So your vibration starts to radiate. Okay? So those without, and you're already doing that, okay? So those without enough absorb it like a sponge from sensitive individuals. So that's why people, you know, you could be really happy and chirpy and you walk into a room and go, whoa, where did all my energy go? That's where it went. Okay, it got absorbed. So building this means less tiredness, okay, less involvement with others' power struggles, because your energy isn't defined by then other people. So what does it mean? Well, for some people, it means acknowledging early life power struggles. And this isn't for everybody, but this does, for lots of people, it does mean acknowledging early life power struggles, including narcissistic environments. So what are narcissistic environments? It means, in short, that the parents' needs were over and above yours. Okay, so it means that it was all about them and not so much about you. And that you, if you've had any sort of experience of that, you may well think, were you ever asked what you wanted? And if your answer is, I've never been asked what I wanted, it's likely that you've had some kind of experience, not necessarily pathological narcissism, but you've had some kind of experience of that you've never actually been asked what you've ever wanted. But I bet you with your own children, you've asked them always what they wanted. Okay, does that make sense? Who's had that experience where they felt that they were never asked? Never asked. So you will have a reluctance within your internal world to allow yourself to build your Jeeva. Because what it would have meant for you is if you had allowed that vibrancy as a child, you would have been crushed for it. Okay, does that make sense? You were not allowed to be more important than the adults. In fact, some of you may have had a feeling that you were born in order to serve your parents. That was your purpose, was you were born to serve them. Okay, so if that was the mentality, and that may have been a generational mentality, then it will be that you're a lesser, your programming is that you're a lesser individual, and you have to do what others want you to do, and you have to follow other people's systems, rules, basis of things, and anything that's your idea is a rubbish idea. And even though it's be something that you really want to do, you really want to have in your life, there will be all the reasons possible to pull it apart. Does that make sense? Yeah? But it would be your internalized family secret, because it will be surrounded with shame, that energy, so it makes you an easy target for power struggles, if that has been your experience. Just as an example. Releasing humiliation or fear of one of your biggest things will be is a fear of humiliation. Okay, who's got a fear of humiliation? And owning your vulnerability around letdowns. Okay, because lots of us try and be brave around feeling let down. And how do we do that? How do we not acknowledge our feelings over being let down in life? Then what we do is, that's when, if you're an emotional eater, using that again as an example, that's what you're doing. If you are a somebody who puts everybody else's world ahead of your own, again, it's about feeling uncomfortable with accepting your vulnerability around letdowns. Okay? Does that make sense? So, the third one is resolving your fear energy around carrier consciousness releases. So, quite often we can be very frightened of our carrier consciousness releases. Okay, does that make sense? Bit before. Releasing humiliation or fear, or the fear of, okay, humiliation, and owning your vulnerability around letdowns. So if you think about something that you've been felt let down around in your life, you'll immediately feel an energy plummet. Okay, so if you think about that now, there's an energy plummet, and it will be from the heart center, or it will be from the solar plexus. Most likely from the solar plexus, and it will just go. It'll feel like a brick in the solar plexus. For lots of people, if it's past and it's from a long time back, it will literally do that. It will show in the back. So as I say that, you'll suddenly get backache. Okay. So a few people going, yeah, okay. And if it's a long time past, it will definitely show as a chronic scenario in your back area. Okay. Humiliation is a strong one, again, especially if people have come from backgrounds of criticism. The fear of humiliation may have been a strong factor used in order to keep you in check, keep you in line. In fact, people do that a lot in all areas of life, don't they? They use this sort of fear of humiliation as a constant scenario. People's really huge fear is nakedness, is exposure, that kind of thing. And what that is a fear of humiliation. Okay, so some people have dreams, naked dreams in public and things like that. What it is if you have naked fears in public dreams, often what that is maybe something that's triggered during the day, is something to do with your fuzz release around humiliation. Okay, who's had naked dreams? Yeah. So it will be your system needs to release. If you've had naked dreams and you have reoccurring naked dreams, it will be that your system is quite focused on releasing humiliation. So that's a strong indication that you'd had criticism early on.
I used to have that as a young child, and when I woke up I was so relieved.
Similar to when you have an on-way toilet, and then in your dream there's only toilets out in the public, so you can't actually ever go. Or is that more probably just
That can be. Yeah, that can be. So if you are, fear of sort of dreams about needing the loo and you can't go to the loo because everywhere is public and it's open, yes, it is about humiliation and exposure. Yes.
For more great free content designed to support your purchase of my book, Highly Intuitive People, 7 Right Brain Traits to Change the Lives of Intuitive Sensitive People, please visit finallyfeelunderstood.com. There you can subscribe and download for free the meditations specific to today's episode. If you have already read the book, then it's time for you to receive exclusive access and support from me and your fellow intuitive sensitives as we go deeper together along this proven 7-step path by joining us in my monthly membership program called Heidi's Circle. There you can ask me anything in a safe and private environment, and I will answer you live. Join us today by visiting healmyinnerworld.com.